a retired FBI agent joining us now. Daniel Brunner joins us. Daniel, thanks so much for joining us. I'm sure, have you been watching what's transpired over the last few hours in New Hampshire? What do you make of what's going on at that extra space storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire right now?
Well, just like your other people have said, that this is an ongoing investigation. The fact that they're walking in there, not in an urgent pace, that it means that the building has been secured, at which point the investigation is progressing. Whether they've identified the storage unit, the storage container where they're able to conduct a search. The vehicle is obviously going to be in question. They're going to be looking at the vehicle. This is all going to be progressing. The fact that at a slower pace now that they've identified this location and have secured it and that there is no active threat, they're going to be looking to get search warrants. They're going to go to the judges. They're going to get a judge to issue a search warrant. That way they can enter the facility and conduct a more thorough, slow logistical search and try and identify. There is no need to rush through this because they could get something wrong. The difficulty here for these investigators is that now we're widely being reported on all news networks. He is aware that they're looking for him. He is aware that he is wanted, and he is aware. So that puts him in the advantage seat. It definitely puts the investigators at a disadvantage, whereas now he is able to actually, possibly go on the offensive. He wants to do shooting, take hostages. So it's a lot more dangerous situation than they are in the past.
Now, that's scary to even think about that. Let's talk about the path that he has taken. He started at Brown University, then went up to Brookline, now Salem, New Hampshire. As somebody who was in the field, where do you think he was headed? Was he headed up to the Canadian border?
It's possible. At this point, anything is possible. As a good FBI agent should do, anything, keep any possibilities open that he may be heading up to Canada. He may be heading to the border. Or whereas we have the shooter in New York City from a few months ago where he shot up the building in the NFL, that individual came from Las Vegas. He may be from New Hampshire. He may be he may be familiar with that area where he's comfortable, and he was able to hide out for these 6 days. So he's looking for a comfort area. That's why I believe that this is a targeted shooting. Whether the MIT professor is connected, obviously the investigation will determine that. But I believe the Brown University shooting was a targeted. He had a specific reason to be there. So having the knowledge that this individual is probably from the area is a good indicator that he may be residing. He may be in the area up there in New Hampshire. That is a clue. But most importantly, investigators can't get tunnel vision. They have to look at all the possibilities. This could be a false flag. He could have put a vehicle up there to send off the investigators, and he's heading south. So anything is possible.
That's really interesting. And you said something a little bit unnerving, too, where you said he could be going on the offensive now because he has this information that investigators are on his trail. So if you're seeing these images and you live in Salem, New Hampshire, you have family in the area, should you be kind of not sheltering in place, but kind of maybe locking the doors and staying guard and watching this unfold from your living room?
Absolutely. I believe the people that best know their neighborhoods are the people that live there. Obviously, they know who lives across the street. So taking a look out the window, don't go out patrolling yourself. Leave that to law enforcement. If anything, you're putting yourself into danger, because if you were to happenly confront this individual, they may end up hurting you. Or if law enforcement sees you acting suspiciously, they'll end up confronting you. So it's just easier. Take a look out your window. If you see an individual that just doesn't fit in your neighborhood, call local law enforcement, call the police department, let them talk, let them look it over, let them deal with the situation. If it's nothing, then great, that person goes on their way. But let them, that's the best way to, exponentially add the number of eyes to this investigation. Just look out your window. If something doesn't seem right, call 911, let the locals know.
Our own local Attorney General, Peter Nerona, said the other day that once this starts unfolding, it's going to unfold fast. And it seemed to happen once we got the person's name. They got the person's name, and then maybe they were able to find the cell phone. How would the FBI take that information then and be able to track this guy?
Well, a cell phone number is like your fingerprint. They able to identify who the carrier is, and they'll go to the carrier with an exigent circumstance. Normally, under a federal investigation, it takes time, a grand jury subpoena. But now that since this is a danger to the community, they can file what's our exigent circumstances. They'll go to the judge and authorize Verizon, T-Mobile, whichever carrier it is, to provide access to that number. So whether that individual is using their phone and it's pinging off the cell towers, they would be able to know when that cell phone is identified, and they'd be able to get the region of what cell tower. If this individual is utilizing, counter surveillance measures such as not being on the cellular service and only using Wi-Fi, then that's different. So then you're talking to the computer in the phone and the IP address. So then you would be able to find out relatively what location that individual was. So if you're on your phone, I hook up to a Wi-Fi at a Starbucks or a local coffee shop, that is a fingerprint to that Starbucks. So law enforcement would know, okay, the individual now is using the Wi-Fi at this local coffee shop. They would be able to triangulate and move in. That makes it a lot more difficult, but each one of these clues provides an opening to capturing, to getting in front of this individual. Yes, this is a dangerous situation that we have right now. Law enforcement definitely has to use caution in approaching this individual because he now knows that the law enforcement is onto him, they've identified him, and they know he's armed and dangerous.
Based on what you're seeing here, obviously a heavy police presence in Salem, New Hampshire, but we were also receiving reports earlier in the day in southeastern Massachusetts, northern Bristol County, there was a heavy police presence. We received tips that there was a heavy police presence in Rhode Island earlier. How many of these active full-scale investigations are going on? It's not just here in Salem, New Hampshire, right?
No, this is a major case in situation. The FBI is very well trained at these. We prepare for these. We worked at these crisis management, and the FBI Boston division, I guarantee you they have what's a crisis command center. So that crisis command center has every entity and everybody in the FBI division of Boston, and I'm sure Albany is ready to render assistance, New Haven is ready to render assistance, and they bring individuals, victim specialists, other investigators. The Massachusetts obviously has countless number of special agents who are all diverting to be there for it. It doesn't matter what hour, day or night. If there's a lead, it gets run out right then and there. If they find something that's connected to New Jersey, they'll contact FBI Newark in New Jersey, and they will run it out immediately. It doesn't wait till the morning. They run it out right then and there. So there is multiple aspects of the investigation. The manhunt is just one of them. There still are countless number of FBI agents who are collecting evidence at the scene. It's down at Quantico, cellular devices. This is a multifaceted, multi-angular investigation to not only collect the evidence against him, but obviously capture him.
Who do you think's in charge right now? What agency do you think is in charge? Because you've got all of these different agencies, the ATF, the FBI, the local police, the marshals, they're all converging on this area. So who's in charge?
So normally during a crisis command situation, you have an incident command center, an ICS. Whatever agency has the best position to be oversight on that, knowing the community, knowing the area, and not to mention legalese. So if an individual was murder, then the local jurisdiction, Providence Police Department, would be running that investigation. So they'll be in charge. The FBI will be rendering assistance, but at the same time, they're running a parallel investigation in case there's an individual, this individual has violated federal crimes. So they will be able to be collecting the evidence in support of a federal investigation. But if federal charges aren't warranted, the United States Attorney's Office and the Department of Justice don't see federal charges, they can pass on all that evidence that they collected and processed over to the locals so that the best possible scenario, the best possible outcome on the court systems will be rendered against this individual. So there are multiple investigations, state and federal, are going parallel to one another.
And based on what you're seeing tonight, we're all anxious here for some resolution. We all want to see a suspect in custody, and we keep drawing comparisons to what happened after the Boston Marathon bombing, what happened in Watertown once there was that large police presence. Given what you're seeing tonight, are you optimistic that this timeline is going to speed up and we should have a suspect in custody soon?
I think absolutely. I think that your state DA was absolutely correct. I think once one domino starts to fall, once they've identified possible cell phone or possible identity, everything else just comes down, because not only they identified him, they're able to go start talking to neighbors, coworkers, and getting more of an idea of where this person's mindset. That interview with one coworker may reveal a storage unit. Oh, he always used to say he used to go to the storage unit. Boom, there goes another lead. Or he always used to go to this, coffee shop. Boom, another lead. So yes, they are going to come exponentially fast at this time. And not to mention, this is going to put immense pressure on him, on the suspect, now that they know they've identified him. So at this point right now, it's just him making a mistake. He's going to make a mistake. He's going to trip up. He's going to be cold, hungry. He'll lower his mask, just like Luigi Mangione did. A mistake is going to happen, and where we'll be able to track him. If he's dumped his cell phone, that's where it's dangerous right now, because he knows now he may be changing everything he has. He may be dropping his cell phone, dropping his clothes. That's why it's unfortunate that this information has come out, not at a press conference, but via leaks. That's the unfortunate part, because the investigator was at the advantage up until this time, and they're still at the advantage because they're pushing, getting more leads, and more people will be coming in with information now. But this is now a little bit of a chess game of who's got the advantage. So at this point right now, it's just a matter of time. We're going to catch him, and it's just putting pressure on him. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. He gets captured and is arrested, and he sees justice for his crimes. And hopefully no innocent people or police officers get hurt in this manhunt.
Initially, everybody was just wondering if this was just a Brown University event. Maybe it was a student who was mad at a professor or something. Then it moved north to Brookline, Massachusetts, and MIT, and the professor there being murdered. So is that an indication that this is not maybe just a localized thing, but maybe a larger operation?
Absolutely. At this point, anything, as I said, anything is possible. Nothing is off the table. The fact, when I heard that the information that an MIT professor had been shot and killed, I was like, this has to be investigated. This has to be conducted. There have to be FBI agents there to participate in that investigation and see, do the ballistics match? Is it the same bullet from the same gun that were used? The ballistics I'm sure were taken from Brown University and the MIT professor, and hopefully the FBI said, listen, let us process it. We can get it processed much faster and accurately down in Quantico. And if the ballistics are a match, then you would have the same gun was utilized, and then you could definitively say, this is the same shooter. If it's the same caliber, it's the same gun at this point. But yes, I don't think anything can be ruled out as a possibility. I think back to Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. He had against Harvard University, he had against professors in higher learning. So this may be an indicator as to this individual's motive. Did he have a problem with Brown University? Did he have a problem with MIT? Let's look at that MIT professor. Did the MIT professor have a history at Brown University? Was that professor maybe connected to the two individuals that were in that classroom? Everything needs to be looked at.
And based on what you've seen so far, there's been a lot of focus on that person of interest. By all accounts, there is one suspect. Is there anything that leads you to believe, at least maybe based on the length of time this person has been able to evade police? Do you think anyone has been involved in the planning, the cover-up, any aspect of this beyond the person of interest?
Well, as I've been saying, nothing is off the table, but at this point, I would say it's most likely that he was acting alone, because the less people that know the plan or less people that are connected to it, the less likelihood of it being leaked or them turning themselves into law enforcement because out of fear that they could be also connected to him, or them turning themselves in. That's why they said Director Wray from the FBI a number of years ago said the most dangerous person in this country is the lone wolf actor, the individual who has it set in his mind, they're going to do this, they're going to conduct this act to right a wrong that was put upon themselves. So the lone wolf attack, they're the only individual that knows the status of the plan. They're the only individual that knows the exit plans. Is it possible that he has, people that are assisting him? Absolutely. Wife, girlfriend, co-workers who, understand him. Absolutely, that's all a possibility. And those individuals, if they are found and if they rendered assistance, absolutely need to turn themselves in right now, because if you are found by the law enforcement before you turn yourself in, it's going to be much, much more worse and much more dangerous for yourself, because if they find you and if they have to hunt you down for possibility, it's just much more dangerous. So if anybody did help this individual out, it's best just to turn yourself in right now and assist law enforcement.
Okay, Mr. Brunner, we are looking at live pictures from Salem, New Hampshire, and we can see that the roads are blocked off there. Again, we know that authorities are on the scene from Providence, and we do believe this is connected to the mass killing at Brown University. What do you think is going on the streets there in Salem, New Hampshire? This just looks like Salem police blocking off a road.
At this point, they have to obviously want to secure the scene. They don't want to have anybody that's, a threat to the community, a threat to them, to them, making sure that what is being contained, whatever they are containing, if it's the suspect, if it's, more evidence, they want to contain the scene, lock it off to vehicular traffic, make sure that he or she doesn't have reinforcements coming in.
Retired FBI agent Daniel Brunner, thank you so much for your insight. You've been a wealth of information. We really appreciate it.
Definitely, thank you.